mine and you don't have zero recoil like this, then your sensitivity definitely has an issue. Stay with me as we build your perfect sensitivity together. First, you need to understand the different sections of sensitivity. Let me introduce them to you. This is called low. This setting is for beginners, offering very low sensitivity across all scopes and other sections. Most new players, especially non-gyro players, use this setting. However, every section still needs adjustments to perform better, which I will explain later. This is medium, the default setting that most of you had enabled when you first launched the game. It has higher sensitivity than low and is designed for an average player. I will explain more about this later. This is high, my favorite setting because it provides the highest sensitivity. This setting is for players who have been playing for a long time and can handle extreme sensitivity without any issues. In fact, they need it to play faster. It's mostly used by pro players. Next, we have must used. This section stores the sensitivity settings you've used the most. It's saved in the database, so whenever you need it, just click here to activate your most frequently used sensitivity. Then there's Season Expert. This sensitivity setting changes every season. I don't recommend using this option at all. Finally, we have Customized. This is your manually adjusted and saved sensitivity. At the bottom, we have two important sections, Lens and Gyroscope. Let's start with the Lens section. The Lens section is mainly used by non-gyro players. Everything a non-gyro player controls is manually adjusted in this section. However, that doesn't mean gyro players should ignore it. They also need to fine-tune this setting to achieve full control when combining both gyro and lens, helping them play at a professional level. The Lens section consists of three important parts. 1. Camera sensitivity. This section applies when you haven't fired your weapon yet. It controls your aim while you're simply zooming in and manually adjusting your crosshair to align with your target. As long as you haven't pressed the fire button, this setting is active and determines how smoothly you can move your aim while scoping in. 2. ADS sensitivity. This setting activates the moment you start firing and remains active until you either stop shooting or run out of bullets. If you pay attention, camera sensitivity is active before you fire, but as soon as you press the fire button, the game switches to ADS sensitivity. This is the most crucial setting for non-gyro players because it directly affects recoil control. That's why ADS sensitivity needs to be adjusted very precisely. 3. Camera sensitivity. Now, what is this for? This setting controls your free look movement when you haven't zoomed in. It applies in TPP, FPP, inside a vehicle, or when using the I button. This is a very important feature because, for example, if you want to drift, jump out of the car, and shoot enemies, this setting plays a big role in helping you control your view smoothly. The gyroscope section also has two very important parts. 1. Gyroscope sensitivity. For gyro players, this section works similarly to camera sensitivity for non-gyro players. Simply put, this setting controls how you adjust your aim before firing using the gyroscope. The moment you start shooting, this setting becomes inactive. It's crucial to fine-tune this setting, especially for different scopes. For example, if you don't have an 8x scope for your AWM, you should be able to use a 3x or 4x scope instead by adjusting this sensitivity properly. I'll explain how to do that later. 2. ADS gyroscope sensitivity. This setting activates the moment you start firing and remains active until you stop shooting. This is the most important setting for gyro players as it directly controls recoil for different scopes. Many players ask how to achieve zero recoil, but they may not know where to adjust it or which values work best. Don't worry, I'll explain everything to you step by step. Now that you've learned about all the sections and understand their purpose and when they are used, the next step is to show you the best sensitivity settings for different device models. I'll guide you on which numbers to adjust to get the best sensitivity, whether you're a beginner or someone who has been playing for a while. I'll cover everything you need to know, but before that, don't miss this important part.